For the sound of the bell. Mind calm, body at ease, breathing quiet, sentiment benevolent. Dharma friends, sitting still in vital silence, wanting nothing, we practice eco-Buddhism together. The sound of the temple bell booms for all to cease from conflict. May the way of Buddha usher in the dawn of non-violent global village forever. Here is the after sound of the thunder of silence, light after Dharma rain. Om Amoga Vairochana Mahamudra Mani Padma Jivala Pravartaya.
Please stand for the chanting of the three refuges. We'll chant first in Sino-Korean, which is in keeping with our tradition, and then recite in English. If it's new to you, just listen deeply or throw your sound in as best you can. Sanju I go for refuge to the Buddha
I go for refuge to the Buddha
and resolve with all beings.
and resolve with all beings.
I will cultivate a heart of enlightenment
I will cultivate a heart of enlightenment
and realize the great way.
and realize the great way.
I go for refuge to the Dharma
I go for refuge to the Dharma
and resolve with all beings.
and resolve with all beings.
I will penetrate the teachings
I will penetrate the teachings
and uncover oceans of wisdom.
and uncover oceans of wisdom.
I go for refuge to the Sangha
I go for refuge to the Sangha
and resolve with all beings.
and resolve with all beings.
I will seek peace and happiness for the many
I will seek peace and happiness for the many
and transform this world into Buddha lands unimpeded.
and transform this world into Buddha lands unimpeded.
Please return for 5 minutes more of meditation. Could you please follow along with these simple mindfulness practices, continuing to be fully present as you have been trying to be during your meditation practice? Because everything ends up to be our meditation practice. So we try to bring our full attention to whatever we are doing. Leaning forward, consciously stretching the spine, even minimally, each time we have the opportunity. Chin back, eyes back. Good. And release and fold. Inhaling again that extra stretch of the spine. And again, release to the left side, folding the body toward the leg. Inhaling up and changing sides. Fully concentrated just with this simple folding of the body. Inhaling up once again and taking the hands behind, releasing them and folding forward. Inhaling up. And keeping the spine straight. Gently twist to one side with your whole being. Eyes right around. Spine straight and twisted. And slowly turning to the other side. Again, the spine. Gently and fully twisted. The whole nervous system being massaged. And slowly back. Putting the fist at the base of the trunk, beginning to circle. And again, that's fully. And then at the bottom, change directions. So. And then coming up and tucking one arm across the front and hand under the armpit. And again, working with our spine, this time sideways. From a straight position, bending sideways. The inhaling up and changing sides. And inhaling up and bringing the laced hands behind the head, elbows wide. And then again, this twisting. And because it has such an effect on the spine and the energy meridians, it affects the whole body, even all of our organs. And this wonderful kind of restoration. And drop. And raising the shoulders. And releasing. And if you wish, a couple more on your own. It's a kind of restoration of the body, the mind, breath. And then please stretch your legs if you need to. Bring me the white cube. Yeah. Turn a little bit in this direction. Until September 23rd, we're going to be reading from the Diamond Sutra. We usually have been reading from the Dhammapada. But during this period of 49 days, while our founding teacher is in the Bardo, a passage between lives, it's the practice to read the Diamond Sutra each day or at least once a week. So I like to share a little section from it. The Vajra Chadika Prajnaparamita Sutra. This is what I heard one time when the Buddha was staying in the monastery in Anapandikas Park in the Jeddah Grove near Sravasti with a company of 1,250 bhikshus, fully ordained monks. That day, when it was time to make the round for alms, the Buddha put on his Sangati robe and holding his bowl, went into the city of Sravasti to seek alms food, going from house to house. When the alms round was completed, he returned to the monastery to eat the midday meal. Then he put away his Sangati robe and his bowl, washed his feet, arranged his cushion, and sat down. Chapter 2. At that time, the Venerable Subhuti stood up, bared his right shoulder, put his knee on the ground, and folding his palms respectfully, said to the Buddha, "World honored one, it is rare to find someone like you. You always support and show special confidence in the Bodhisattvas. World honored one, if sons and daughters of good families want to give rise to the highest, most fulfilled, awakened mind, what should they rely on and what should they do to master their thinking?" The Buddha replied, Well said, Subhuti. What you have said is absolutely correct. The Tathagata always supports and shows special confidence in the Bodhisattvas. Please listen with all of your attention, and the Tathagata will respond to your question. If daughters and sons of good families want to give rise to the highest, most fulfilled, awakened mind, they should rely on the following and master their thinking in the following way. The Venerable Subhuti, the Buddha said to Subhuti, this is how the Bodhisattva, Mahasattvas master their thinking. However many species of living beings they are, whether born from eggs, from the womb, from moisture, or spontaneously, whether they have form or do not have form, whether they have perceptions or do not have perceptions, or whether it cannot be said of them that they have perceptions or that they do not have perceptions, we must lead all these beings to the ultimate nirvana so that they can be liberated. And when this innumerable, immeasurable, infinite number of beings has become liberated, we do not, in truth, think that a single being has been liberated. Why is this so? If Subhuti, a bodhisattva, holds on to the idea that a self, a person, a living being, or a lifespan exists, that person is not an authentic bodhisattva. Wanting to give rise to the highest and most fulfilled, awakened mind. Deep within, that's the urge within us all. When my mother was dying in 1993 in Vancouver, British Columbia, I asked Venerable Samusunam for some kind of service. I was going to go to the Anglican Church, of which I had been a member, and the family wanted to do a service there. And I did not know what kind of a service to do. It was the first death that I was really familiar with, my own mother's. I had been with her a great deal of the time when I could travel back to Vancouver. So one of the things that Sunam offered and wrote himself is what I would like to share with you. I was to read this for my mother, and I'm going to read it for him right now. And then I would like to share with you a little about his actual death this past weekend. So compose yourself to listen deeply. Sometimes that's by adjusting your posture. It's being in touch with your breath. It's simply allowing yourself to be completely open. Life is a continuous journey. Death is neither the end nor the extinction of life. The journey of life continues beyond death and through rebirth. Like the 4 seasons of spring, summer, fall, and winter, life has 4 stages of unfolding. birth, growth, old age, and death. Again, like the cyclical nature of the four seasons that repeat and renew themselves, life goes through in cycles and renews itself over and over again until we attain final peace and happiness. The journey of life carries two vital messages for its travelers. One is that we living beings are interconnected and interrelated to each other, and one another ultimately through the transmigrations of many lifetimes in all different forms. So we're not only close friends to each other in our global village, but also we are relatives in the extended family of all things. Therefore, we must develop affection for all beings and care for them as our relatives, so that love and compassion should always prevail among us all. For the sake of the world, we must realize that in fact and truth, we are one interrelated whole. The other vital message of life is that throughout the journey of continuous life, we enjoy repeated opportunities for moral improvement, spiritual awakening, and cultivation of wisdom. Therefore, we must not waste our lives in self-indulgence. We must train ourselves to seize upon the moment of this life right in front of us in order to promote peace and happiness for ourselves, our families, our communities. Sunam has now departed from us for his new journey of life. We bid him farewell and wish him a wonderful journey into his new life. He was a precious person and has been dear to us. Let us express our deeply felt feelings toward him and grieve over his death. However, let us not forget that his death entails his rebirth. He is now going through an intermediate state of life until rebirth, which is a winter-like desolate period until the warm spring. During this period, he needs encouragement, spiritual support, and devotional help. Let us pray and practice meditation, chant on his behalf in order to give our encouragement and provide our support for him. Let us abstain from our habits of self-indulgence during this mourning period and rely on our sincere heart for salvation and enlightenment. Let peace, love, and wisdom flow from our sincere hearts. Let there be lasting peace and happiness for Venerable Samusunam. Just over 10 days ago, I got word from our priest in our Toronto temple, Sanha, S-A-N-H-A, Sanha. It means mountain and river. It's very, very appropriate for her. She's a very small mountain and quite a mighty river. Yeah. That Venerable Samasunam had about 2 months to live. So I thought, okay, 2 months, long time. But then about the next day, a palliative care doctor had been to examine Sunam, and she phoned me and she was crying and she said, he's only got 2 days. So this was Friday for me. And I thought, well, maybe I can get there by Sunday. But then when I thought about it, I thought 2 days means maybe tomorrow even. So Mom helped me to get the last actually seat on a Saturday flight. And I arrived at the temple about 7 o'clock to find Sunam lying on a bed, breathing in quite a strong, troubled way, with many people gathered around, meditating, some chanting, just some caring for him, for his hands, for his face. I moved to his feet, and they're all red up to the knees because of inflammation. And I massaged his feet a little bit, something that I have learned to do, and he was responding. And then I moved to talk to him a little bit. I don't know if he knew that I had arrived. It was okay if he didn't. I just felt that I needed to do just some connection with him, and then sat down at his head. And I wrote about my time there. Sanha was always very careful and present with taking care of every little thing that Sunam needed at that point. And she had been doing this for a couple of years. So she knew Sunam in the most intimate way. And you'll see that this will come out in this writing that I did. Doan is our Mexican Dharma master, and he's known Sunam for years and years and years, and sat right by his head with his hands on his arm, almost always meditating, sometimes just being a little affectionate. There was real affection and intimacy with the touching of Sunam. And others just sat around, kind of trying to be fully present. It was pretty easy to be fully present. It really was. And so let me just go to where I started to write, because I was fully present, and the way I felt I could embody that presence was to write about being there. You could be thinking, I know some people, Doan Sunam is also an artist, and when he has been in situations, he often draws. So each of us was doing. There was singing, and there was praying, and I was writing. Not always right there, but nearby. So arrived at 7 p.m. or so. Sunam, fast breathing, opening his mouth, moving his hands, his lower legs red and cold, a little twitching when I hold his feet. A privilege to be present with this one who has been such a teacher. I retire to sleep and am awakened about 10:30 because he is so very close to death. I rejoin the others. His breathing is hardly there anymore. Doan and I chant Kwansim Posal, and then we all, the great compassion Dharni. Sanha is truly wailing. She especially knows by sight and touch that he has almost left. Her hands keep caring for him. Doan holds his arm, caresses. We chant the great compassion Dharni over and over again. He has passed peacefully, very peacefully, and we wash his body. Every nook and cranny of his ears, his toes, his back, his front. And then we turn him over and do the same. Next morning. This morning, I find him alone in the room. Crows drift by under a cloud cover out the window. Blue pillow on his left, a white sheet up to his chin, his Yangju beads, his meditation beads on his chest. One arm folded, hand on chest, one hand down just above his genitals, and his feet covered and sticking past the end of the bed. Sanha appears, tidies up the room a little, comes and goes, somehow fits in time for a shower, always returning to bring her caring hands to Sunam's body, and holding a blue cloth for tears and snot. She is by his side in a moment, just like she has always been these months. Coming and going, 10 p.m., Bukkang Anjali, me, Anicca, Ilmi. I take time to walk in the hall, keep track of my practice with my beads. Sunday. It was a vigil all day for Sunam, with many people coming to pay their respects. Again, he lay, his head showing above the white sheet. Sunam's head, his nose, a short beard around his mouth and chin, a stubble of hair around some bald spots, the form of his shrunken body under the sheet, feet sticking up, hands, chest. Just this. There were prostrations and bows, lighting of incense through the day, a vase of beautiful white paper flowers, chairs and couches and mat and cushions where Dawn often sat, and a room full of books and pictures, the temple office with a computer and desk, the day from the southwest facing windows. Some people came for hours, others for short periods of time to meditate, chant. And there was music, sometimes opera, because Sunam loved opera. Most striking was the playing of the big temple drum. It's just huge. And it was on the floor below. And just as striking, this one African-American member was down there for an hour, just playing boom, 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 boom. And we were all mesmerized. At 9 p.m., the funeral parlor folks came to Sunam, put him ever so carefully in a body bag, and carried him to their limousine while Sanha led chanting of Jijang Posel. Jijang Posel, Jijang Posel, Jijang Posel, Jijang Posel. Monday. This morning, Sunam's bed was transformed to a couch with a beautiful altar close beside, the white flowers, incense, and glass to receive incense, a lighted beeswax candle, and a picture of Sunam, younger, standing at the big back gate at 46 Gwynn Avenue, our former Parkdale Temple, our first building to be renovated. Already, I have passed this little altar several times, sometimes stopping for a moment to exchange a few words with Sunam, sometimes just sitting in meditation, sometimes chanting Om Amoga Varochana Maha Mudra Mane Padme Jvala Pravartaya Sum, which Jagwa chanted as part of the bell chant this morning. The rows of Sharon bushes are still blooming in the neighborhood, the west side of Vaughan Avenue, reminding me of the bush we have in Ann Arbor on Woodlawn. The Rose of Sharon is Korea's national flower, always blooming here in August, and will always now remind me of Sunam's passage on the 6th of August. It was a withered flower from this bush that one of our great masters in the tradition used to do calligraphy in hard times in Korea. Monday, Sunam's office altar, gold swans on either side of his photo. Beeswax candle still burning, a glass with ashes, a row of incense, a metal winding calendar wound to August 6th. Sunam's picture sitting in one of his lone Dharma coats, black velvet cuffs, black rubber shoes, with a gnarled Dharma stick in front of the side gate of 46 Gwyn, a white cotton Jizo Bodhisattva making hapchang, all on a white linen cloth with a beautiful crocheted border on the front edge. And beside a tall clear glass vase, again with those white paper lotus blossoms on long sticks. Light to the left of him creates shadows to the right. And then the Toronto temple is a really unique temple because a lot of artists have been at work with almost crazy art sometimes in every room. So the room which he lived and died in, a blonde wood floor with 3 long windows. His bed, now a couch, opposite the windows, chairs and small couches and things collected from the 10 directions. A birch bark lamp, homemade, moose antlers, shelves of books and tapes, many oil paintings, fabric hangings and quilts, at least 13 small plants, a picture with the letters buffalo twice, drapes on the glass doors, an office, desk, drawers, computer, print on the stairs side, a tea station and a bowl of fruit, an owl looking down, an old-fashioned landline, and a big basket of fabric, and more. So you can imagine it's not a simple room. There was much there. Let's see, today, Tuesday. Just now, Sanha is compiling pictures taken of Sunam as he was living and dying to put on the website. She got to know him deeply during her months of 24/7 care. She washed him, shaved him, clothed him, cleaned up his excrement and pee, fed him, gave him rounds of medicine, took him to acupuncture, reported to us on weekly meetings about him, remembered his last words, fresh, fresh. And now taking care of the legal things, his cremation and planning for his celebration of life ceremony and a retreat before, September 21st to 24th. Being with him through all the days. This morning she said she had finally a good full sleep last night, even as a parent protects with their life. Dawn, this is our master from Korea, from Mexico, intent with the Diamond Sutra. He had a book and he looks a certain way. Red Pine Sutra. On one hand, holding the book, reading, taking notes, his wire glasses loose on his nose, now and then scratching in the side of his neck with the pencil, and then writing again. His whole body intent, as of Okay, his whole body intent, as if he finally found what he is really looking for. Unself-conscious, his bony, bare feet sticking out from the bottom of his gray trousers. Sitting in the chair with round metal arms, an overcast day outside the windows on either side of him. And so he passes the hours after Sunam's passing. Me, I'm sitting in front of the altar. I decide earlier, let's see. I'll go to the last part. Sanha Doan Jongdo. Oh yeah, now this is what I want to say. Another person came in. So there was Doan Sunam and there was Sanha Sunam, and then Jongdo, who is Sanha's partner, just came in. He's the artist who decorates the whole temple. I think he brought in a lot of this stuff from here, from there, from everywhere. He's got a skateboard on his lap and is re-screwing the green wheels, actually with a little green screwdriver, a bag of screws on the chair beside them. He's also intent. And me? Sanha Doan, Jangdo, even me, with this long bit of writing, all of us intent. It's just sobering to have been with Sunam's passing and this both empty and full aftermath. No more Sunam, but Sunam everywhere, even in each of us. So that's kind of a rough draft. I hope I'll be able to reflect a little more and add some things. Sanha wrote a poem. No food, no water, no fuss. This was in his last days. No food, no water, no fuss, no problem. Just suchness. And suchness means intimate, immediate, spontaneous, and obvious. So it was like that as we sat. Just suchness. Thank you, Sunam. Thank you, Sunam. Thank you, Sunam. And then Sunam wrote, however miserable your life may be, your ordinary everyday life is the way of Buddha. Whither is the seat of perfect enlightenment? Right here, where the cycle of life is turning. And this is from Sunam's Buddhist prayer for all beings. Buddha said, come and see. Here you are. Your life offers that kind of opportunity every moment. Come and see. Yesterday, some of our members were here to help with some work. Still cleaning up after peace camps, still cleaning up. And afterwards, Zheng Jua stood on the porch of the Sangha house and he said, you know, Buddhism is just this, doing work together. So the Buddha said, come and see. And Zheng Jua, come and work together. This surely is the time to be in the midst of our lives. We never know what's going on in this world and with our own individual lives. We say in Buddhism that we lead the life of the Bodhisattva, one who is trying their very best to help out wherever there is suffering. You know, with the 1,000 eyes, we together, and the 1,000 arms, we together can see where help is needed and be quick to help. And it's a little bit of, what would I say? Seems like too much sometimes because there's so much to do. It feels like do you ever feel like you're burned out a little bit with all the stuff? Yeah. So we say in the tradition of Bodhisattva, to help all beings, wherever it may be, that the first being that we need to take care of is ourselves. Because we're not going to be much good for the rest if we do not take care of ourselves. And a dear friend and former resident of this temple in 1982, 83, and 84 is Mushima Ikeda Nash, and she is now a teacher at the, what's the name of the Zen Center?
East Bay?
East Bay.
East Bay, right?
Yes, she's a teacher at the East Bay Buddhist Center, and it's said to be the most diverse center on the continent by some. And she wrote a little article. She's a writer. She was a writer when she was here too, a Japanese-American woman. And she wrote an article for, I think, Lion's Roar. And I would like to share with you the vow that she put in it for bodhisattvas, for our bodhisattva life. So it's like this: aware of suffering and injustice, I, Haju, am working to create a more just, peaceful, and sustainable world. I promise, for the benefit of all, to practice self-care, mindfulness, healing, and joy. I vow to not burn out. Would you like to take that vow? So please repeat after me, if you would, or just be in solidarity with those of us who are giving it a try. Aware of suffering and injustice.
Aware of suffering and injustice.
Okay, you need to really put it out there, friends.
Aware of suffering and injustice.
Okay, let's start again.
Okay.
Aware of suffering and injustice.
Aware of suffering and injustice.
I, Haju,
Goes on.
good, am working to create
am working to create
a more just, peaceful, and sustainable world.
a more just, peaceful, and sustainable world.
I promise,
I promise,
for the benefit of all,
for the benefit of all,
to practice self-care,
to practice self-care,
mindfulness,
mindfulness,
healing,
healing,
and joy.
and joy.
I vow to not burn out.
I vow to not burn out.
Bodhisvaha!
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 Maha Prajna Paramita.
Maha Prajna Paramita.
Bodhisvaha.
Bodhisvaha.
And that kind of means we're all in. Because we are all in, ultimately, anyway. Eh?
Hey.
Okay. So, thanks for your attention. And then, are there announcements for today?
Yes.
My turn.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Welcome. We have a lot of new people here today. So if you have questions, we're happy to answer your questions after the service. You can talk to any of us wearing gray, and we'll try to get your questions answered. And we encourage you to sign up to receive our weekly email bulletin. So there's a sign-up sheet on the table in the entrance hall if you wish to receive that. We send it out once a week. We have a new schedule for the Zen Buddhist Temple. The color is peach. It's the fall and winter schedule. So there's copies of that on the table also. You can pick up one as you go out. We're looking for a few volunteers for 15 minutes of outside work today, right after the service. So if you'd like to help with that, please meet us in the backyard, and OSEC will be leading us in a project in the backyard. A couple of things coming up on our schedule to be aware of. We're offering another round of the Introductory Meditation course, which runs for 5 consecutive Thursday evenings from 6:30 to 8 o'clock p.m. So that'll be beginning on September 8th, and there's a sign-up sheet on the table if you're interested in that. We also offer all of the same information that's in the Introductory Meditation class in an overnight form that is one day. Instead of the 5 Thursday evenings that begin on September 8th, this one goes from Friday, September 16th at 7 p.m. until noon the following day, Saturday, September 17th. And there's a sign-up sheet if you're interested in that. And also we offer yoga classes, which run on Tuesday evenings in 6-week sessions. And that begins on September 6th. And that's also from 6:30 to 8 o'clock p.m. So you can sign up if you're interested in that. One of our temple members, Joanna Farben, has been a member for many years and is going on tour to Switzerland this week. And they would highly appreciate your financial support for this endeavor. So Joe writes, I'm honored and ecstatic to be invited to Zurich, Switzerland this August to help curate a solo gallery exhibition of my portraits, as well as lead a week-long portrait drawing workshop. I'm thrilled to have the opportunity to draw the public again and put the process of how I build the portraits on display, to teach, to inspire. So if you wish to support Joe's work, you can contribute to their GoFundMe. There are flyers on the table, and the address of the GoFundMe campaign is on those flyers. Recovery Dharma is meeting today. Where will that be?
We're meeting today in the library right next door, the big yellow house.
Okay, in the big yellow building right next door in the library. And then we do finally have a contact tracing sheet set up for today. I'm sorry we didn't have a pencil there before, but we do have the sheet set up on the table where the teacups are. So as you're on your way out, if you could put your name and email address there, and that way if there's a case of COVID, we could contact everybody. The temple is supported entirely by your kind donations of time and money. There's a fishbowl for monetary donations. If you'd like to donate your time, there's a couple of good ways to do that, such as helping out on Saturday afternoons from 3 to 5 p.m. for garden practice. And also, if you're interested in being a greeter, there's opportunities to do that. So the greeter helps to set up for the Sunday morning service or Sunday afternoon service, and helps to welcome new people who are here for the first time and just kind of orient them, and gives announcements at the end of the service. And this is a nice way to practice your public speaking skills in front of the most supportive audience imaginable, a bunch of Buddhists. So thank you. Oh, Jocko's going.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, sure, yes. So those of you who are participating in the Ulambana Day service, we have a little bit of change to do, rearranging this room, but we'll begin at noon. So I'll play the Moktak a few minutes before noon. And if anyone is interested in joining the service late, you are welcome to participate. This is an activity of honoring or reconciling with someone who we may have lost contact with or who may have died. And so in order to prepare for that, we ask you to write a letter to that person who you will be communicating with during the service. So if you have not already done that preparation, but you would like to join today, just talk to me after service.
and 4 p.m.
Yes, and Ma'um will be leading another Ulambana Day service today at 4 p.m.
So let's together recite the 4 great vows. All beings, one body.
All beings, one body.
I vow to liberate
I vow to liberate
Blind passions, one root,
Blind passions, one root.
I vow to terminate.
I vow to terminate.
Dharma gates, one mind,
Dharma gates, one mind.
I vow to penetrate.
I vow to penetrate.
The great way of Buddha,
The great way of Buddha.
I vow to realize
I vow to realize.
and not to burn out.
And not to burn out.
Okay, please stand. And we'll do 3 vows to formally end the service. Doing this bowing with you this morning reminds me of a time in Toronto when an old Korean woman called a Poselnim, we discovered her in the kitchen. She had been preparing food for the community, and she was bowing really deeply. And there was this little mouse that had run across the floor, and it seemed to be mesmerized in her presence. So there they were, kind of really deeply with each other. So when I make a bow, I often think of Masam Poselnim. Yeah. And you may have a mouse or a tree or something at times when you feel that it's worthy of a bow at that time.
So if a few of you could pick up the second row of mats and cushions, leave the ones facing.
I think we can leave them because we'll be adding one hand.
How can I help you organize?
Yeah, so we need to move the platform, but let's turn the live stream off first.